Okay, so here we have, my second part I have is 1,000 for 40 hours. So this needs to be 40 hours for $1,000. So down here below I can write x over 800 equals 40 over 1,000. As long as I've set them up so that these two both have hours on top and money on the bottom, I can just go straight to here. So then here I'm going to multiply both sides by 800. So then this will cancel out, and I'll get x equals 32. 32, what were they? 32 hours. Right, so just kind of run back and figure out what your x is. X is how many hours. The next one, did I do the first one? I did the first one, didn't I?
Yeah.
So yeah, 24 donuts. So then our next one, we look at. So here, again, I would say find the what, or the how many, or the whatever. So x is my what. That goes with 3.25 inches. So x over 3.25 inches. You always keep your x on top, figure out what it goes with, put that on the bottom. Then here I have my second one, has to have 1 inch on the bottom also. So I have 1,100,000 with 1 inch. 1 inch has to be on the bottom because I have inches on the bottom over here. 1 inch goes with this many feet, is it? Or miles?
Feet.
Feet. Okay, so then I can go straight to setting those up down here. X over 3.25 equals 1,100,000 over 1. Now, how do I fix this one? I multiply both sides by 3.25, so those will cancel out. And I will end up with x equals, I don't know, 3.3555275, like that. B. Okay. Good. Next one. Let's see. What do we have? We have how many? Again, here's my x. How many? So that goes with 270 compressions. So I do that one first. X over 270 compressions. So then I know that the second one, which is, let's see, 30 compressions and 2 breaths. The 30 compressions has to be on the bottom. This compression is on the bottom here. So 30 compressions here. 2 breaths up there. So then I can write them both down here as x over 270 equals 2 over 30. And again, multiply both sides. I want the x by itself, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 270. And I'll end up, again, with these folks canceling out, and I'll end up with x equals 2 divided by 30 times 270 and 18. 18 breaths. Okay, good for everyone? All right, so now we're going to take a look at some word problems. Don't panic just because they're words. It's not a big deal. It's fine. Okay. Don't forget writing a sentence to interpret your answer. Let's see. So here we have one sample. We have 110 AA batteries. 3 were defective. So then we say how many. Again, how many is your x? Would there be if you had 5,000 batteries? So again, you're going to want to put your x on top. X defective out of so many, out of 5,000 batteries equals, and then figure out which one goes on top, which one goes on bottom for your other piece. And then solve. Say what that means in words, what you found. Right, write a sentence to interpret your answer. So here we said there are 3 defective out of 110 batteries. So we just multiply both sides by 5,000. And end up with X equals, no. $136.36 defective. So what would be my, what did people have for their sentence? Dave, what'd you say?
Out of 5,000 randomly chosen batteries, about 136, or I guess in the next problem we'll change it, but about 136.36 batteries are defective.
So then, that's not a whole number, right? So since it doesn't make sense to talk about a fraction of the battery, we probably say, I might say we expect that many. So you're right, so you'd say out of 5,000 batteries, which way should I round, up or down? I want to decide how you should round this, up or down. About how many? Down, because the next digit, go to the next digit. If it's 4 or less, you round down. If it's 5 or more, you round up. About 136 batteries are defective. Okay.
I rounded up because I figured it's better to overestimate how many are defective.
Yeah, or you can do that.
But mathematically, rounding down.
Either one is totally acceptable as long as you have some sort of mental justification for it. Yeah, perfect. All right, number 7, Washington Monument. Gotta say shadow. Oops. So again, you have to think about what your X is. Here's my X right here. The height, I put my X on top. So which one matches up with this guy right here? I'm going to do it in red so it's easier to see. Which one matches up with this X? This one here or that one there? Which one? The height of the man or his shadow?
The height of the man.
The height of the man. So those should be across from each other. So X, and then this is 166.5, and this is 5, and this is 1. This is 1.5. 6.5 would be like that. So set up your proportions so that they match up. And then solve. So again, the X is grouped with who, with what? The shadow. So the X goes with this guy. That's one group, and then this is the other group. Right? So this is one side of the equation. So it should be height to shadow. when X is my height, then my shadow is what? 166.5. So you gotta do it here again, you gotta do height on top and you gotta shadow on the bottom. I like to have my X on top, it just makes your life way easier later.
Your explanation, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but the number, it doesn't mean that it's partially defective, it means that part of the battery, it's kind of hard to explain that all the batteries are defective, but you really can't have it for.
So how tall is the guy?
So,
Height is 5.
I don't know, it's fine. Yeah, it's not, if this was the batteries, it's not that these are good, and then this is where it gets defective. It's not that this is defective and this is good. It's that, it's just this is what it's telling us. There's actually not even a whole battery at all. So really, you can either go down, but in this problem, from a business perspective, I guess, it's better to overestimate how many would be affected. And so I think it would be 136, but it's actually ends up being 137.
So here, after we set it up, I multiply both sides by 166.5. That's what everybody did, I think. So then you end up with X equals 555 feet, is that right?
Yeah.
So that means that, what does that mean? What's 555 feet?
Washington Monument is
Yep.
555 feet.
The Washington
Oh.
Monument. Is 555 feet. Great. And then our last one is this one here. Okay, so this one's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to walk you through it a little bit.
I didn't know what was going on.
So here, we've got two do you know what so we've got two triangles going on that have the same, two sides of the same. Why am I having trouble with this one? It's not an isosceles triangle, it's a, all right, I'm not gonna worry about it. So here's a triangle. This side is 6 centimeters. This side is also 6 centimeters. These are both 6 centimeters. Is everyone with me on that one? This down here, we don't know. This is the radii. I don't know. This is my X I'm trying to find. All right, and this matches up with this smaller triangle here, which is 2.25 there and 1.5 there. Make that smaller. 1.5 there. So these folks have the same angle, which means that their proportions will match up. So I've got this 1.5 and 2.25 here, which match up perfectly with this larger X and 6. So again, I'm going to put the X on top over 6. I need to figure out what should equal over here. And whatever one matches up with this guy is the one that should be on top. Does that make sense for folks? All right, so go ahead and sort that one out. And then we'll try to. I think what makes it weird is just, if people aren't familiar with the compass, then it's another layer of things that you're unfamiliar with that are confusing folks. So here, which of these two is in the same position as the x's? The 1.5 or the 2.25?
1.5.
1.5, so that needs to be on top. Does that make sense? Because they've got to have a relationship. They've got to represent the same spot, the same thing. So the 1.5 will be on top, which means that the 2.25 should match up with the 6, right? So that should match up with the 6. So that should be 6 is on the bottom. The 2.25 should be on the bottom. How do we solve these? Multiply both sides by 6, right? So that the x, 6 over 6 cancels out. And I think most people got 4 centimeters, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. So then what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that the radius is 4 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish here. We have a little bit early.